Welcome to another episode of Stuck in My Mind podcast. I am your host, WIZE, and my next guest has been in the world of advertisement for over 20 years. Welcome to the show, Robert Brill.
Thanks for having me.
Uh,
Hello.
hello, the pleasure's all mine.
Should I call you Wise?
Yes, you can.
Yeah.
All
I like
right,
that.
let's jump right into this. So, can you share a pivotal moment in your career that shaped your approach to digital advertising?
Yeah, I mean, it was the first job I had at an ad agency. I was like 23 years old, just out of college. I got a job at Universal McCann, one of the largest, bless you,
Thank
one of the largest ad agencies in the world. And I got hired by a team led by a man named Elias Plishner. And he now has a massive title at Sony Pictures doing like global marketing campaigns for them. And what shaped the reason I tell this story is because as a leader, it's often important to make people feel safe. And when you make them feel safe, they will do great things for you because you're empowering them. And he definitely empowered the heck out of me and gave me an opportunity to become just join and love the business that I'm in. That's really what it came down to. So I credit him with the love and excitement and enthusiasm with the business I have.
So how has the landscape of digital advertising evolved since you first entered the industry in 2003?
Yeah, I mean, at the time we were doing Friendster. Friendster was marketing. It was before guerrilla. It was before social media marketing. It was called guerrilla marketing. We were posting in forums. I was working at Universal Music and helping release like Hoobastank's The Reason and Method Man and a few other The Killers were another one. And so like our job was to create cachet in forums and communities to make them um and drop the knowledge about like the album we were promoting. So fast forward to 2004, 2005, we were doing ads on MySpace um and we did one of the first site takeovers on MySpace. But fundamentally, the biggest shift in advertising over the course of the last 20 years, well, there's a few shifts. There's the rise of social media, the rise of mobile, the rise of connected television. But all of that really has to do with the rise of data targeting and technology to make ad buying far more streamlined. Because before, when you want to buy ads on New York Times or The Atlantic or whatever, CNN or ESPN or Google, you had to talk to a salesperson. They take you out to lunch or dinner. It was great. Like went to Spago twice in the first 2 months of working, out of college. I was like, wow, this I'd never be able to afford this on my own. And then like, a month or so later, they're like, hey, what you got? How much you want to spend with us this time? And we'd have to put together our media plans. But now a lot of that has gone away in exchange for automated ad buying where you buy directly in Facebook and X, on publisher websites, on Hulu, etc. So it's much more attributable, much more conversion oriented, and from a workflow perspective, a lot easier to deploy fundamentally.
So what are some of the common challenges that businesses face when it comes to advertising effectively on digital platforms?
Yeah. And I'll also say that, talking about digital platforms, it gave rise to the ability for any mom and pop restaurant, yoga studio, entrepreneur to be able to spend a few $100s a month on meta advertising, which is a really powerful way to reach people. Now, I think, according to Meta, there's about 10 million people who are on Meta that are advertising, 10 million small businesses advertising on Meta, or 10 million businesses in total. Most of them are going to be small businesses. That's the breakout. And a lot of them are going to fail. Over 50% of them are going to fail in their advertising efforts because they don't have a strategy. They think it's the easy button. You're just going to press boost and all of a sudden your ads are going to run. And fundamentally, it's just never that simple. So if you're spending a few $100s a month on boosting posts, you can work with an agency like ours, if you have $1,500 a month, and get a far more thought out strategy that's actually going to grow your business. Because if you're just boosting a post, what you're fundamentally doing is getting eyeballs on a post, which is fine, but you're usually optimizing to likes, comments, and shares. And as we all know, unfortunately, you can't pay the bills with likes, comments, and shares, but you need leads and sales, and we help businesses drive leads and sales. So I think there's more opportunity, there's more complexity, and businesses need to be far more specific about what they're looking to achieve with their marketing and advertising, and not just accept likes, comments, and shares.
So how does Brill Media differentiate itself in the competitive digital advertising space?
Yeah. So, number one, we hire people who are experts. We don't hire people out of college. We've tried many times and it never works out. And the reason we hire experts with 7 to 20 years of experience is because they know what they're doing. They have answers to questions before our clients even have the questions. And we really understand the foundational methods and practices to grow businesses. The big thing about advertising is that there's a couple things. A ton of agencies hire kids out of college, and they just hope that they don't make mistakes. Like when I worked at Universal McCann, first 6 months, they just basically paid me to ensure that I can learn the business and I don't screw anything up. That was basically the point there. Um, and so when we hire people, we like to have those senior experts. Now, when you look at other agencies are also hiring those kids out of college because they're frankly less expensive. And we'd rather spend more money on talented people and help those people drive our client success. Um, and so at the end of the day, if you're a business owner and you need to grow your business, you need a few things. You need product market fit. So we help you define product market fit, and we help you develop a strategy. And product market fit is that moment when you know what to say, how to say it, and how to price your business such that people are buying from you. If you haven't reached that point, then there's a good chance you don't have product market fit. Advertising can help you achieve product market fit, but if you're spending money on ads expecting sales, but you haven't achieved product market fit, you're throwing money into the toilet, and you shouldn't be advertising. So a big part of our service is about the business fundamentals and the intelligence to help our business grow and make good advertising investments so they don't waste their money.
Okay. So what role does the data play in informing
Right.
advertising strategies and driving business growth?
Right. So there's a few different types of data. There's sort of inherent methods and practices knowledge about how platforms work. Like for example, on Meta, and let me also so a couple things on Meta. A lot of people are using their keyword and interest targeting, and that's a lot of times that's not the best way to run ads on Meta. That's old technology. It's like having an iPhone from 2017. Does it still work? Yeah, but there's like better options out there. There's the model from 2024, or 2023, I should say. So you have better ways to achieve the same thing. So there's data that comes from experience, which says that you should do broad targeting on Meta, targeting age, gender, and location. So that's one type of data. There's campaign data that helps us understand what works and what doesn't for any given campaign. And one of the things a lot of businesses don't know to ask for is data that helps them make good decisions about their campaign. So I'll give you an example. You can train Meta to find your best customers. And the way you do that is with broad targeting and a creative testing framework. And the way to make a creative testing really robust is all you have to do is commit to creating 5 ads per month on Meta. And those 5 ads are comprised of a headline at the bottom, image or video in the middle, and a primary text at the top. So with 5 ads, you have 5 of each of those elements. You're going to mix and match all the headlines with all the primary texts and all the videos or images, and you get a total of 125 possible ad variations. What you do then is use science, control and variable testing with just a few set of settings on Meta. So you have the ability to really understand which one ad out of all the 125 is your absolute best ad. And that's how you actually determine which products and services people want. Because over time, you're going to understand you're getting most of your sales because your ads are performing this in a certain way from one of your products and not your other 4 products. Like one product is just blowing it out the water. You're going to understand the types of audiences really resonate for your business. You get to understand which discounts resonate. So for example, you might offer a 10% discount on a product through your ads, and maybe that doesn't do as well as when you offer free shipping. Now, you may inherently know that, but you may also have to test. And like consumers have been primed, no pun intended, to go to Amazon Prime and get free 2-day shipping. And so by aligning with consumer values, you can get the learnings for your business to understand how to talk to the marketplace in a way that's particularly effective. So when you talk about advertising, you get all this like way of working that's so far more than boosting a post. So when we talk about data, there's fundamentals of how to make the campaign work, business work. There's the campaign data. Then there's the macro learning data, which gives you insight about business intelligence that helps you build a better business.
So how do you approach determining product market fit for businesses looking to advertise digitally?
Yeah, I mean, the first thing is we look at a history of your business. Have you ever if you've generated sales, what have you done to generate sales? And either a client has the answer or doesn't have the answer. If they don't know how they generated sales, then we step back and we say, look, okay, well, part of the money you're going to spend is going to be there to achieve product market fit, to understand what to say and how to say it in the marketplace such that you're able to actually connect with customers. So part of that then means reassessing or changing expectations, right? Because if you go into the marketplace and you have $10,000 to spend and you say, well, I'm just going to grow my business with $10,000, and we have a conversation and you tell me you don't know how to sell, you don't know how you've gotten sales in the past, I'm going to stop you right there and say, look, you should spend some money to achieve product market fit first. So any money we're going to spend is not going to be there to generate immediate sales. It's going to be there to understand how to generate sales, how to talk to your customers so that it's effective. So we'll maybe allocate $2,000 for product market fit, run that for a month or two, and then run the rest of the $8,000 with the learnings that we've had already.
So how do you say, I'm sorry.
No, I was just going to say, if the challenge for me, the big sort of like my soapbox is that so many entrepreneurs want to sell something to other people, especially B2B entrepreneurs. They're like, hey, I've got something special. I have some expertise. I want to sell that expertise to other people, or that service to other people. Or if you're a restaurant, literally your special sauce.
Yeah.
But those same entrepreneurs will not pay just a little bit in the grand scheme of things to learn how to market their business effectively to accelerate the growth of their business. So you don't have to do it yourself and flush a bunch of money down the toilet and spend hundreds of hours or thousands of hours trying to figure it out yourself. It's kind of like a weird paradox for me.
Okay. So how does one stay ahead of the curve in the ever-changing digital landscape?
Well, number one, you set money into the marketplace, and you should generally be running an always on campaign. So like, you're not going to run, even the phrase campaign indicates that it has a starting point and an ending point. Really, it should be an always on initiative. Like, you're going to turn on money and you're never going to turn off the spigot on Meta, for example, or Google, or whatever platform is the most relevant for you. And the fundamental reason for that is these algorithms start to learn who your best customers are over time. You start to learn how to wield these platforms to generate sales over time. And you also get to understand how to improve your creative development such that it's more compelling over time. What you don't want to do is spend $1,000 and then stop, and then 2 months later spend $3,000 and then stop. That stopping and starting is far more harmful because you're just wasting money at that point.
Okay. All right. What advice would you give to businesses looking to optimize their advertising efforts on Meta platforms?
Yeah. So broad targeting, age, gender, and location. That's going to be number one. Number two, you're going to do that creative testing framework where you create 5 ads, you disassemble all the components, and you run you do control and variable testing on 125 different possible ad variations. And you're going to identify which one ad is the absolute best performer that you have. And then you're going to cycle through that test every month. And over time, you're going to learn which products and services, offers, discounts, and audiences really resonate for your business. So at the end of the day, it's that creative testing framework and that broad targeting is going to really make a big difference for your business.
Okay. So how do you ensure that advertising tactics are sustainable and yield long-term results for your clients?
Well, we're always testing. We're tinkerers, we're scientists. Our job is to set up a strategy and then set up frameworks to understand what parts of the strategy are working and what parts of the strategy are not working. So the analogy for me is a strategy is like a navigation plan. If I'm in Los Angeles, if I want to get to New York, my goal, my key performance indicators, I want to get to New York, Manhattan. Now, how can I do that? I can drive, I can fly, I can take the train, I can use a bicycle, whatever the case is, a motorcycle. So decision one, how am I going to get there? I'm going to fly. Decision two, how much am I going to pay for a seat? Decision three, how much am I going to, what time of the day am I going to arrive? Right. So those are all decisions that achieve my goal of getting to Manhattan. And then once I get to JFK, for example, how do I get to the city? LIRR? Do I take the taxi? Do I take the train? Whatever the case is. So those are the decisions you need to make to develop a strategy. What's your goal? What do you need to do today to get to that goal? And then have calibration points along the way. Like, for example, you might run ads on Meta and Google, and let's say X. And of the three, Meta and Google are doing really well, but X, you're not going to run ads on X anymore because they're not performing. So you stop. It's a calibration point. So you want to have these moments in time where you take pause, you look back and you say, okay, well, let's spend more money on Meta because the money on X is not giving us what we need. And that work is happening all day, every day for the rest of the life of your business.
Okay. What are some of the emerging trends or technologies in digital advertising that excite you?
Well, I like connected television. People understand television, businesses understand television, and now with streaming platforms accessing or allowing commercials and ads is going to be really cool. It's much more attributable than standard traditional television. What's really cool about television advertising is I can run ads to a household, identify that a particular household saw an ad, and serve the people in the household banners or Facebook ads or some other advertising down the line. And I can then track whether or not they bought something or share their information with my client over time. So it's the feedback loop is very quick. It happens in hours and days. And I get to understand which channels or which platforms are driving conversions and which aren't. So you really have the ability to bring television into the overall sort of scope of how you're running advertising campaigns.
Okay. So, excuse me. So, what do you envision for the future of digital advertising, and how do you plan to adapt to the upcoming changes?
Yeah. So we are completely platform agnostic, right? So I'm not here specifically to sell Meta or Google or any one platform. I will say that 45% of all digital advertising in 2024 will be spent on Meta and Google. But at the end of the day, if tomorrow if everyone bought the Vision Pro and there was new forms of advertising on the Apple Vision Pro, we'd be there, because our job is to go where consumer attention is and parlay that consumer attention into sales for our clients. So I'm definitely keeping track of AI. I'm keeping track of connected television. One of the things that fascinates me is the digital out of home space. Like you can run ads you can run ads on billboards on the side of the road in freeways and in malls and in airports, just like you run a Facebook ad. It's a fascinating environment. So very, very easy to do. With regards to AI, I think AI is a really fascinating space. Like it helps businesses develop more ad creative to power the algorithms in a much more efficient and effective way. When we use AI to develop ads, they do 42% time. It's 42% more effective on search click-through rate than standard ads or human created ads. So we're looking at AI as ways for ourselves and our clients to more effectively express themselves.
And I love the fact that you use AI as what it's intended for, as a tool that it is. And because there's so many people who were saying, oh, they're going to take over uh, and get rid of jobs. And what you've done is taken it and started using it to help grow your business.
It's got to be. I mean, like people far smarter than me are saying that the next billion-dollar company is going to be built off of one or two people using AI. Like
Wow.
that could be any of us. It could be any of us listening. It could be any of us on this podcast. It doesn't have to be that difficult. What it takes is tech tinkerers. We need to be tinkering into the tech so that we can understand what works and what doesn't. And we certainly encourage our team to play with new tech. And if something becomes critical to their job, like share with us and let's implement it for the whole team.
And that was going to lead me to my next question. How important is creativity in digital advertising, and how do you foster innovation within your team?
Yeah, we create safe spaces for them to fail. I'd rather the team know that they can fail and still have a job than have them be scared of their shadow. And so we do that with culture. We get to know each other, and we try to any mistakes that happen, we try to catch them when they're infinitely small. We pay a lot of attention to really small mistakes. Not because I'm trying to be a micromanager. It's the last thing I want to do. We do that because I want to ensure that the small mistakes stay small, and that the team can learn from experiences that someone else on the team might have. But at the end of the day, our job is to foster innovation, right? Like I want my team to be able to serve clients in the way that is best suited for the client, and each client is fundamentally going to be very different. And our job is to provide the tools and systems to ensure everyone's happy.
Okay. So when it comes to small businesses, right? How should local or small businesses start thinking about scaling their growth through advertising?
Well, number one, you need product market fit. Like at the end of the day, you shouldn't be spending your money when you're doing advertising, you're amplifying a message. So you need to be very certain that the message you're amplifying is actually something that's going to generate a sale for you. If you're not sure, there are ways to use advertising to achieve product market fit, to learn through that real-time feedback loop. So when a client approaches us, we really understand like what they've done in the past, where they've been successful, where they haven't been successful. So when anyone listening, really the opportunity is you have to either judge for yourself or have someone tell you whether or not you've achieved product market fit. And if you know how to say things and how to price your product or service such that people will buy from you, then you may have achieved product market fit. And then the next step is, if you've achieved that, then you need to continue to iterate on your business in the advertising marketplace, right? Like you need to learn how to talk about your business in a way that's effective for Meta, and a different way that's effective for Google, and a different way that's effective for TikTok. They don't have to be completely disparate, because a lot of what we do is we take the learnings from like Meta, for example, we amplify the learnings to TikTok, to LinkedIn, to Google, to banners, to connected television. So, but the best thing, the most relevant thing you can do is work with an expert, and you got to find an expert who has a few wrinkles, been around, understands the systems. And the reality is that advertising is quite interesting for me, but it's what we do is actually quite boring. Like, we work on the fundamentals. Like, I'm not interested, like, there's a growth hack on X where you can run ads on X and get like ad impressions for like less than a penny on X. Like, but that thing will be that's a bug. That thing will be patched at some point, and you can't build a business on something that can easily just go away. So what you have to do is actually build a business on the fundamentals, and we have the clear fundamentals of how to grow businesses in digital environments. So a lot of our clients are actually going to be agencies who want to white label or outsource their ad buying to us, and then we go to market together. They do the creative development, they come up with slogans and the commercials and all that stuff, and we'll look at the data and the targeting to deliver the advertising to the right people.
Okay. Right. Excuse me. How do they find the right marketing partner for them?
Yeah. So number one, there's a few ways. Number one, they have to be priced appropriately. um, there's cheap, there's expensive, and then there's valuable. Both cheap and expensive can be valuable. So I tend to err on the side of expensive. I think expensive is going to be better in most cases. High touch service. Here are the things you need to look for when you work with an advertising agency. Number one, you want to know how senior the people are that are working on your business. Like, if they're just out of college, that might be a problem. They just don't have the experience. Number two, you're looking for people who have wrinkles, because that means you're a little bit older, and frankly, you probably have some experience. You want to look for people who, like, this is what they do. Like, like, I'm not a crypto expert, and I'm not going to sell real estate, and I'm not going to start a hotel chain or a restaurant concept. Like, this is 100% what I do. And all I've done for the last 20 years. So you want people with experience, and you can look at that through LinkedIn profiles. The other thing is, you want, this is probably a little bit more of a controversial take, but if an agency does too many services, I get a little shy about that, because the work of ad buying is like very specific. Like, you can have people who are dedicated to TikTok, dedicated to Meta, dedicated to Google. Those are all individually very differentiated, like, platforms and how you work on them. Now, how is the same business who does like ad buying very well, how are they going to use Photoshop? It's like two completely different skills. Like, it's like, we all know how to drive cars, but I can't be a crane operator on a high rise. Like, it's similar. You're sitting in a cabin and you're steering stuff, or I can't drive a truck. Like, it's a different license. It's very different work. And so, like, creative is very different. Website building is very different. Like, website, you need to know how to code. It's a different part of the brain. Search engine optimization is yet another different type of work. PR and publicity, to get your name in the press or in publications, that's yet a different type of work. So if one company offers like all this stuff, I get a little bit, to me, it's a signal that they're never going to be able to do all of that very effectively. Absolutely not. And that's the fundamental problem. So you want specialists.
Yeah.
So work with specialists. The other thing is, you want to look for context, communication, and consistency. You don't want to work with an organization that is keeping things from you, that they're opaque. Because the more you know about the work that we do, the absolute better it is for us. Like, you'll know how hard we work for you. We don't want to keep things from you and not share our special sauce, because at the end of the day, the more you know about our business, the happier you're going to be with our service. So you want communication, context. Context is very important, because with context, you get an understanding of why things are the way they are. Like, when you look at data for the sake of data is not very useful. It's just data. But data for the sake of understanding why something is the way it is, supported by data, that is incredibly valuable. And it's a storytelling part of the business relationship that is going to be helpful in giving clients an understanding of how their business is doing. If Meta is doing well on your campaign, why is it doing well? If Google's doing well, why is it? Why if TikTok is not doing well, why is that the case? So you really want partners like, we operate on trust and we operate on experience. And we operate that way because we are the growth partners for our clients and they rely on us to drive more revenue and keep their accounting team busy.
Awesome. Right, and one final question before I let you go and get the solo screen and you can promote and everything. What a couple of things companies get wrong when they're advertising on Meta?
Yeah. I think they're too elaborate and too glossy with their messages. Ugly ads do really well on Meta. So like if you take a post-it and write your ad message and then take a photo of that post-it and put that up as an ad, that could easily do well. Now, here's the thing. I'm not guaranteeing that that one ad is going to do well. What people get wrong is they don't put enough time and effort into creative development for Meta. Like all the targeting from Meta, because if you're targeting broad audiences on Meta, the way Meta knows who to deliver the ad to is they understand the content and the context of the ad based on their algorithm. So if I run an ad for white label media buying for other agencies, you know who's not going to be interested in it? Any company that doesn't need white label media buying, right? You know who's not going to get an ad for astrology? Me. My mom will, but I won't. Or Publishers Clearinghouse. She'll get an ad for PCH. I'll get an ad for some tool that will help me advertise better. Because Meta is really good at routing the ads to the right person at the right time, which then means that one of the most important things you can do to make Meta work is constantly test new ads. Now, you can test glossy ads, you can test influencers, you can test long video, you can test short video. Static images do really well. Test a bunch of static images. They're easier to create. Take ugly photos on your phone and turn those into ads. So it's the testing that is missing from the targeting efforts where a lot of companies can really stand to drive immense value for their business.
Okay, awesome. Man, this has been great, man. There's been some great stuff. I appreciate it. Now is the time, part of the show where you get the solo screen and you get to plug away and let everybody know where they can find you. And yeah.
All right. Well, my name is Robert Brill. I'm the Chief Executive Officer of Brill Media. You can find us at brillmedia.co, B as in boy, RILL media.co. Hit the start now button and schedule a time with us. I'm also building a course for people who want to learn how to develop an advertising or marketing agency completely outsourced. You won't ever have to do the work. All you have to do is learn how to sell and work with outsourced suppliers. So if that's interesting to you, hit the course button on our website. And thanks for having me.
Oh, the pleasure's all mine, man. It's been good. Time flew. But thank you so much for being a guest, man. I greatly appreciate it.
Thanks, Wise. Appreciate it.
Don't leave just yet. Let me close out the show. Me and you chat a little bit off air. But thank you, man. I appreciate you being a guest, man. I love the background too, man. I love the blue.
Thank you.
All right, let's close out the show. All right, shout out to Facebook user. Thank you for stopping by and leaving a message. Greatly appreciate it. Big shout out to my Real Wise fan, Poppy J, Brandy J. Big shout out to the boss lady. Love you and appreciate you. Big shout out to all the essential workers out there. God bless you. Be safe. Make sure you tune into Real Wise TV every Monday, Tuesday. Check out Wise in the AM. Check us out here, Stuck in My Mind podcast on YouTube channel, the Stuck in My Mind YouTube channel, the Real Wise TV, as well as the BS3 network on the Roku channel. Download that. Who is it, Facebook user? I want to know who you are. Tell me who it is. But thank you. Peace out to you. I greatly appreciate you stopping by. And as like I said, check us out on the Roku channel. Check out Mentality every Monday. Oh, Corrado, how you doing, brother? Thank you. Corrado's one of my dearest friends from work. One of my biggest fans and supporters. Always been supporting me since day one. So thank you, Corrado. Greatly appreciate you, brother. But check out Mentality every Monday at 2 p.m. on Comey Media's YouTube channel, as well as Real YCV at 8 p.m. Eastern Time Monday. Thank you all for all the support, man. Thank everybody for all the love they've been giving me, especially this past month, especially going through what me and my family have gone through in this past month. I greatly appreciate you all for the support and the love and all the the messages that you've sent. My family and I greatly appreciate it. So hope everybody has a great day, has a great afternoon. You know how boy Wise does it. Peace out.